Good morning, Thailand. My name is Alex.
And I'm Jay.
And we got some news updates for you from around the land of smiles. This Monday, June 16th. Before we begin, please remember to subscribe to the Tiger to stay up to date on all things Thailand. Now, today, we'll be talking about the results of the Cambodian-Thai border talks over the weekend, a bomb threat diverting a flight in Phuket, and a little later, an escalator malfunction at Survanabumi Airport. Before we begin, though, Jay, would you mind telling us a little bit about our sponsor?
Won't I just? Fazwaz, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for Fazwaz for sponsoring the show. If you've ever thought about buying, selling, or renting property in Thailand, they're the largest real estate portal in the country.
Yeah.
Don't take my word for it. Thousands and thousands of people have found their home through Fazwaz, including me.
Yeah, indeed. When you're on the hunt, Fazwaz is the Waz to go. I don't know. Sorry. I'm still working on taglines.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Well, anyways, our first story today, we got a sequel.
Uh-oh.
To the Soy 11 Brawl of 2024, round 2.
You love a good brawl.
Oh, who doesn't? Thai and Filipina trans women erupted in a brawl again on Soy 11. It must be that time of year.
Yeah.
A violent altercation erupted once again between Thai and Filipina Ladyboys on Bangkok Soy Sukhumvit 11 on June 11th. Footage shared online shows Thai trans women physically assaulting 2 Filipina trans women with traffic cones and kicks. The conflict reportedly stemmed from a territorial dispute over work locations. This is the second major clash between the groups following a 2024 incident involving over 20 Filipina trans women. Despite the violence, no police were involved and both sides dispersed without official intervention.
That's a difficult watch, man. There's like 10 people absolutely ganging up and bashing these 2 other people.
What you would think lessons would be learned at this point. Like, this is not the first time this has
Last
happened.
time was, I think, like 10 on 20.
And it got even bigger.
This one was just 10 people just destroying 2 helpless people.
I'm glad the police were able to come and break it up. No, it doesn't appear that anybody was hospitalized or anything like that. Just a good old-fashioned whooping on the streets. But this is not the first time. And I feel like the territory is taken very seriously by these girls. Of course, territory for what? Nothing legal, of course. But, we'll have to see if this is just now a regular occurrence. Is it just going to happen once a year? Something like that? I don't know. But we'll find out. And let me ask you, Jay, what's going on? Why aren't the Thai and Filipino ladyboys getting along with each other?
Why would they? Why would they?
Why indeed?
There's deep insecurity somewhere down there.
Indeed, yeah. By the way,
it's difficult enough to compete with other good-looking ladyboys in Thailand. It just makes it a lot more different when they're not from your country, I guess. That's what I'm thinking. It's territory wars, man. It's like, I don't want you to take on my territory. And it just makes it easier when they're not from here. It's like, okay, not only are you not from here, but you're also on my territory. Double the reason to start a fight, I guess.
Apparently so. Violence is never the option.
We should bring on one of these people to interview.
Well, I don't.
You should go on your street interviews and find out.
Yeah, get undercover. We got to blur their faces and stuff.
Yeah.
I do want to say, Cobgo has a question. Is ladyboy an okay word to say, or is it discriminatory? Look.
But yeah, by the ladyboys themselves, they don't mind. It's only everybody else who gets offended.
In America, it is an offensive word.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. We're not in America.
That's the thing. Here in Thailand, it is absolutely a self-describer that's been used for decades, and it is not a word of shame here, the way that it has been taken as a word of shame. So I do want to say that for all of our Western viewers who are watching from outside of Thailand, that is totally the verbiage, the word choice that is self-used and preferred here in Thailand.
I think no matter what word you use, you'd get offended. Like there'd be someone who'd be offended. You could say ladyboy, that could be offensive. You could just say transgender, and they could be like, no, that's a woman. You could call them a woman, and then a woman would be like, wait, that's not a real woman. So
yeah, the language is still the jury's out apparently.
Just avoid labeling people.
Fair play. Yeah.
All right.
Well, let's move on, shall we?
Moving on to our next story, a very entertaining one. Weaponized drones found near Thai-Malaysian border trigger security alert. Authorities in Songkla Sadao district have launched an urgent investigation after discovering 2 large drones modified with grenade launchers and IED release systems. Found on June the 12th, the drones, capable of flying 8 to 10 kilometers with a 10 to 15 kg payload, raised fears of possible attacks or smuggling operations near the Thai-Malaysian border. Although no explosives were present, officials suspect the drones may have been intended for violent acts. Thai and Malaysian security forces are now working jointly to trace those responsible.
Grenade launchers on drones.
Yeah.
It was scary stuff. Obviously, we've seen these kinds of drones being used a lot in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Mm-hmm. What are they doing over here? What would be the point of that? Seems like it would be it could be being used by drug muling operations. I'm not entirely sure, but who are the targets for these drones? That's a big question. And the fact that they found 2 of them certainly would seem that those are not the only ones. So I'm curious to see who's at the bottom of this and if the Thai and Malaysian authorities can get to that bottom. All right. Tyron says, not my drones. Fair play. And Bad Boys says, perhaps a sanctioned Muay Thai fight in Pattaya. Get the Thais and the Filipinos to duke it out in the ring.
Yeah, what's your friend at Fight Circus?
Fight Circus.
I feel like that seems like a Fight Circus kind of thing.
Yeah, John Nutt, if you're watching, then please let's make it happen.
Come on, John.
All right. Next story. We got a couple of airport stories coming up. Our first one is over to Survanabhumi, of course, Bangkok's busiest airport, where an escalator malfunction ended in, safety, and the safety systems worked. A mechanical fault triggered an emergency stop on an escalator at Suvarnabhumi Airport's SAT-1 terminal late on June 11th, startling travelers but causing no injuries. The airport safety system activated as designed when a broken screw jammed the escalator mechanism. Engineers quickly resolved the issue and operations continued smoothly thanks to a parallel escalator. Officials reassured the public of rigorous maintenance standards and cited the incident as a successful example of safety systems working to protect passengers. Startling. Pretty scary. Particularly because we've done stories over at Don Mueang where the moving footpath.
Yeah.
A panel fell out and somebody lost a leg doing that.
Don Mueang's even known to have roofs fall down, and not necessarily on passengers, but yeah, there were a couple of years back a couple of stories. It's quite an old airport now as well. But yeah, I think the most horrific one was the lady's leg who got stuck in the escalator and had to be amputated.
Scary stuff, man. It was such an interesting video to watch though, because she was so calm and collected while that was happening. It was wild. But yeah, I'm getting a little nervous sometimes, but I'm very happy to see that the safety, while it's startling, the safety measures were in place. It worked as intended.
Yeah.
Everybody's good. So kudos.
Kudos. All right. Well, moving on to our next story. More trouble in Phuket as a fake Russian doctor has been busted for illegal medical practice in Phuket. A 33-year-old Russian woman identified as Victoria was arrested in Phuket for illegally posing as a doctor and offering unauthorized medical treatments. Caught in a sting operation while preparing to inject an undercover officer, she was found with 47 medical items and admitted to having no qualifications or license. Victoria claimed she was recruited by a friend named Marina to attract clients online. She now faces charges for illegal medical practice, distributing drugs without permission, and working without a permit. Investigations into Marina continue. There's one thing to be operating without a license, then there's another thing to also not be a doctor.
Yeah. No medical training. I mean, I think
What
those
was
come
the
hand in
point of
hand.
that?
Dude, there are so many. I was actually just seeing a special on this. John Oliver did a special on this in America. There are tons of these beauty clinics that are popping up without any of the proper regulations or licensing. That's happening in America.
Yeah.
In a place like Thailand.
But again,
this could happen.
there's regulations and licensing because they don't want to go to the government. They didn't get approved. They don't have the right security measures. And then the person's doing it is just like either me or you.
Yeah.
Like we're not even qualified.
No. Yeah, that's the idea.
But that's just me taking an injection and putting it in you and being like, give me $1,000.
I saw a YouTube video. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. Well, that's the thing. They can probably charge lower prices. People don't really check. They just, if you have like a room set up that looks kind of like a clinic and you wear a white coat, people are like, sure. So those signals.
She's got a coat. It's legit.
Indeed. But I think it's pretty hilarious that she almost injected the undercover cop. I'm like wondering how close did the needle have to get? For like, all right, that's it. You're under arrest. Anyways, make sure if you're going for these beauty services that you should definitely be going to qualified, certified. Check their certifications because there's plenty of bad operators out there. All right, let's move on. Our next story is also down in Phuket, where a bomb threat has forced an Air India plane to make an emergency return to the island. Air India flight AI-379, flying from Phuket to Delhi with 156 passengers, made an emergency landing back in Phuket on June 13th after a bomb threat message was discovered mid-flight. The pilot alerted authorities and returned the plane, which landed safely at 11:38. Passengers were evacuated without incident, and the aircraft was inspected in a secure area. Phuket Airport remained operational under increased security as authorities launched an investigation into the threat's origin and credibility, apparently of which there was none. So, threat, but no actual danger. You gotta wonder who does this.
What, fake bomb threat?
Yeah, like, it's so annoying. Like, not that I would want them to follow through. I'm glad it was just a threat and nothing else.
But again, was it like a bomb threat that would like report it to the airport, or was it someone in flight? I think if it was in flight, we'd probably know about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Some people just want to watch the world burn. They just want to cause some chaos.
Yeah.
They got nothing better to do.
It's rough. Yeah. AB Sadiq says that's an old story. I know it's a few days old, but we got to catch up on stuff that happened over the weekend. I missed it on Friday.
All right. Well, our next story is about hope. Thailand rolls out safe taxi training to rebuild tourist trust. Is there hope for taxis in Thailand? Well, Thailand's Tourist Police Bureau has launched the Safe Taxi Initiative to improve taxi safety and service for tourists. At a training session in Samut Prakan, 120 drivers received guidance to become professional, trustworthy operators. The program, supported by the Department of Tourism, aims to reduce complaints and enhance tourist confidence, particularly in major areas like Bangkok and Suvarnabhumi Airport. Train taxis will display hotline stickers and use the TPB app, integrating them into a real-time tourist support network. Good initiative?
Yeah. I think it's good, and I've seen it working. When I come from Survanabhumi Airport, that's pretty much when I take taxis. Like otherwise, I'll use Bolt or Grab. It's just so much more convenient, and you know what the price is going to be.
You don't use the train?
I do use the train sometimes too.
But you're normally traveling overseas with big bags.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the issues. But yeah, I think it's working at Survanabhumi. Like they get in the queue, they're lined up.
Oh, you
very
do the
organized.
queue?
Yeah, it's so easy. It's so easy. You get a number, and then they always use the meter. They're playing by the rules up there.
True.
So whatever they're doing there, if they can try to make that work citywide, that'd be wonderful. I think and rebuild some of the trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know the OG way of getting a taxi?
What's that?
Just go to the departure hall.
Oh.
And then, the taxis come and drop the people. And they don't want to go back empty, so they'll just actually use the meter and go.
Right. I think they get yelled at now. They're not allowed to pick up people there.
Yeah, definitely. But anyways, moving on.
Right, we'll see. Before we move on, we need to hear a quick word from our sponsor. Hot, would you mind to tell us more about Fazwaz?
Wow, welcome back. That switch was seamless between the ad and also changing the person behind the buttons. Caught me off guard.
I know.
Where did Hot come from?
We got a talented team over here. We're deep with editing talent.
That's right.
Cool. But yeah, check out Fazwaz, guys.
Check out fazwaz.com for all your real estate inquiries.
Indeed. And yeah, well, this segment is brought to you by them, and we're going to continue on from our Thailand section to our ASEAN Now section, which, again, we have bit of a crossover between Thailand and the greater region. As over the weekend, the Thai-Cambodian border talks occurred, but they stalled. Not much happened. Let's talk about it. A Thai-Cambodian Joint Boundary Commission, or JBC, meeting in Phnom Penh ended without resolution after a recent military skirmish over the disputed Chongbuk area. Cambodia had set up a base in the no man's land, prompting tensions. Though both sides agreed to continue dialogue, Cambodia rejected Thailand's map and suggested taking the dispute to the International Court of Justice. Thailand denied any agreement on maps and confirmed it will host the next JBC meeting in September to keep negotiations going. This is a weird issue because Thailand does not like the ICJ. They think that the ICJ will be biased against them, and these rulings will favor Cambodia in those talks. So they prefer the mechanisms that are more bilateral, where they're communicating directly with Cambodia. I find it interesting that nothing really happened over the weekend, and now they've kicked the can down to September. So will this open up the door for more conflict on the border, or is everybody going to chill out and will this just get swept under the rug? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So we'll keep our eyes on that because it's still a very hot topic here in Southeast Asia. All right.
That's right. Sorry, I was reading the comments. Evil Twin says, "Shh, Jay, I still do that." Still goes to the departure hall, I'm guessing.
Oh.
Anyways, all
Rule
right.
breaker.
Well, he is my evil twin. Typhoon Wutip floods central Vietnam, kills 9 and displaces thousands. Typhoon Wutip has caused deadly flooding across central Vietnam, leaving 9 people dead with 2 missing. Provinces from Quang Binh to Quang Nam were hit hard with over 3,500 homes and 88,000 hectares of crops submerged. Victims included 2 men who drowned after their boat capsized in Hue, and transport was heavily disrupted, including delayed flights and a postponed beauty pageant. Though floodwaters began to recede by Saturday, the damage remained severe. Wutip has since weakened into a tropical depression.
Yeah.
Those looks like some heavy floods.
It's tough.
Those cars should not be on the road.
No. This is the thing. Vietnam often takes the brunt of these storms because they're right along the coast right there. So Thailand, obviously, we get rain, but it's never as strong and devastating as what ends up hitting the Vietnam. This is something I'm used to coming from Florida. Florida, we are absolutely ravaged by hurricanes on a pretty regular basis, but because it's pretty regular, we're also pretty good at preparing for it. So usually we don't have too many deaths. There's a lot of property damage. Vietnam, look, 9 is nothing to, scoff at. It's still tough, but I think that they're getting to the point where they are pretty prepared for when these storms become very bad. That this could have been much worse.
Yeah.
Of course, that's not going to help the families that have lost people now, but it is somewhat of a consolation to know that Vietnam is getting better prepared for these kinds of events. All right. Our next story, we have a weird one coming out of Malaysia. A driver was suspected of having a seizure that caused his Myvi to hit 4 pedestrians in Malaysia. A 22-year-old man likely suffered a seizure while driving a Peradua Myvi in Cameron Highlands, Malaysia on June 15th, causing the car to veer off the road and hit 4 pedestrians, 3 young girls and a 24-year-old man. The incident occurred near Jalan Kai Farm. All victims sustained minor injuries and were treated at Sultana Haja Kasom Hospital before being discharged. Police confirmed the driver had a history of seizures, no prior traffic offenses, and tested negative for drugs. A summons was issued, and the public was urged not to spread unverified information.
It happens, man.
Yeah.
Scary. Yeah, exactly. Like, not every time that someone actually gets into an accident is actually their fault. But I don't know how this would have been preventable. But yeah, someone actually getting a seizure while driving. Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah. Well, if you have a history of seizures, is this something where you should just not be allowed
then
to?
again, how often does a seizure happen, right?
I don't know. Like, if you're running the risk of it, like, fortunately in this situation, everybody survived. It's fine. So that's good news. But yeah, operating heavy machinery when you have the epilepsy and the chance of seizing and causing this kind of an incident, you got lucky this time. Could be worse next time. So do we allow that risk? I don't know. People sneeze during their in traffic moments too. So that's something that is also sometimes just unavoidable. Accidents happen. So I think it's that balance. Do we live our lives, or do we and allow the risk, or do we try to be extra safe? I don't know. All right. Our last story.
Our last story today. Yeah. 4 Filipinos injured in Israel after Iran missile attack. 4 Filipinos in Israel were hospitalized after Iran's recent airstrikes amid escalating tensions between Iran and Israel. According to the Philippine Department of Foreign Affairs, the injured, currently in a hospital near Tel Aviv, are not in critical condition. The Philippine embassy is providing support, including to a Filipino whose home was damaged by missile fire. Most Filipinos are reported safe but experiencing psychological stress. The embassy urges Filipinos to remain near bomb shelters for safety. Yeah, difficult times, man. I mean,
scary.
Bombs just flying up in the sky.
Yeah, what's the funny thing? You didn't really hear too much about Israeli injuries or casualties. It's interesting that we're getting this news about Filipinos who are living over there. But yeah, by all accounts, they are getting like warnings in advance of these missiles landing. So it's just a bunch of property damage, and mostly people are able to shelter, which is good, but apparently not enough because these people were indeed hospitalized. Scary stuff. Again, if you're a migrant worker, I guess the allure of the payday is just very high. So you can't really say no to it. But boy, is there a reason for that high pay? The danger seems a little bit too much for my taste. So good luck over there.
Then again, I mean, it's like up until a week or 2 weeks ago, there were no missiles in the sky, and then all of a sudden things change very quickly. So.
Well, yeah, but that's the point, is that Israel's now picking fights with Iran.
And then it's difficult to get out of the country.
Yeah, I mean, I should say Iran has been arming like Hamas and Hezbollah forever too. So it's like, Iran's been using proxies to poke the bear, so to speak. But now Israel's taking that very seriously and poking back. So it's just a crazy situation right now. It would be nice to see it de-escalate. I don't see it happening that way anytime soon. I do want to make an announcement before we close out the show very quickly. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. For those of you that don't know, we do the show live every day at 9:30 a.m. Thai time, where we discuss some of the international news. And at the beginning of the show, I was talking with the audience about the political assassin out of Minnesota in America. His name was Bishop something. Vance Bolter. Sorry, excuse me. Vance Bolter was taken into custody since we've been speaking. So since the beginning of the show to now, the man was at large for about 2 days. He has been arrested and taken into custody. We will learn more in the coming days, and we will discuss here on the show. So anyways, big update. All right. Sorry, not Bishop Knight, not our regular viewer Bishop. Sorry. It was the one. Not him. All right. Well, that'll do it. Let's wrap up the show and then get into the comments, shall we?
All right. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are some of the stories from across Thailand. Please check out thetiger.com for more stories, or if you'd like to join in the conversation and let your comments be known, you can do that at
ASEANnow.com.
That's Thailand's largest English news forum.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to The Tiger here on YouTube. You can also click that little join button where you can become a member and experience all sorts of benefits, like high fives with me and Jay, tours of the studio, a little bit of merch, some swag bags when you come through. So these are Bangkok-based benefits. You also get cool emojis that you can use in the group chat here. And you can also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, wherever you get your social media fix, you can find The Tiger.
That's true. And big congratulations to Scott D., who is now finally retired, successfully retired, is happily retired.
Yeah, congratulations, man. I'm jealous.
He's eventually, hopefully, going to make his way to Thailand.
Yeah. Sooner rather than later, I hope.
Yeah.
We'll catch up with you soon, Scott D., and congratulations. All right, let's dive into the comments. See what some people have to say.
If you like that story, please like and subscribe. And for more Thailand news, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok at The Tiger, or you can go to thetiger.com and join the conversation.